Omnichannel shoppers shop more often and spend over 3 times more than a single-channel shopper. Yet for retailers, delivering on the omnichannel promise is complex and expensive. Learn how IBM Watson Commerce uses cognitive learning to perfect sourcing decisions and drive down costs. And now, on to the show.
Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 96 of Total Retail Talks. In today's episode, executive editor of Total Retail, Joe Keenan, sits down with Daniel Alarik, founder and CEO of Grunt Style, at our Chicago Total Retail Roundtable. Listen in as they discuss their hiring strategy and the importance of company culture.
Tell everyone a little bit about Grunt Style. You're the founder of it and CEO, so tell us about your company.
Sure. So it was about 7 years ago. I was a drill sergeant in the Army down at Fort Benning, Georgia. I had a brand new wife and baby. They stayed in Chicagoland. And my wife was like, hey, it's time to start thinking about getting out of the Army and, see your family. And I'm like, okay, great. And I was thinking, okay, what does an infantry drill sergeant do back home? And I'm like, okay, I can be Bart Mall cop, I guess, or I can go back to be a personal trainer. And I'm running through all these things, and I'm like, you know what? I'm really going to miss the pride and the patriotism that the military instills in you. I just love that culture of pride and patriotism. I'm like, if there was only a way I could share that with the world, how could I do that? And it's strange because the whole reason why I got into the Army, because I didn't want to go to college and I didn't want to go into business and work for somebody else and just make money and then die. I mean, I thought that was dumb. I'm like, I want to do something that was bigger than me. And then, so I'm thinking, I'm like, how do I share this culture of pride and patriotism with others? And I'm like, you know what? Best way to share it is put it on your back. And so I made a few T-shirts. I had a little web development background and a little design background. And so I made a few T-shirts, and for the next 2-3 years, I slept in my car and drove around bunch of different states, selling out of the back of my car. I'd sleep on the product at night, and I still had a military ID, so I'd go into a local base and shower at their gym and go back to just hustling on wherever I could sell product. And now, 7 years later, we're a little over a couple hundred employees, and we sell a lot of product.
Yeah, so it's a great story, and really roughed it, and so obviously part of the business strategy is your commitment to veterans. Can you talk about your philosophy around employing veterans and how that's kind of continued on as the company has grown?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, the best person gets the job. That's important to us. But at the very least, what we want to do is guarantee every veteran a job interview. So there's been plenty of times, at least there's an opportunity, and we hire so many people every week. Maybe they're just coming straight out of the military. I've had people call me and say, hey, I'm in, blah, 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 Texas, and I just got out of the Army hours ago. My discharge paperwork is still warm in my hands. I don't know where to go. I'm like, get your butt up here. I'll find something for you. So, and we'll put them to work. And, and it's up to them to prove themselves. We're a very meritocracy focused, where your merits will determine your success. Education and background obviously helps, but if you don't, you know what, you're going to put your work in, and if you rise to the top, fantastic, then the opportunity's there. So at Grunt Style, we're a little over 50% veteran employed, so we have a little over 100 veterans there. At Alpha Outpost, we're a little over 75%. Almost everyone there is a vet, which is fantastic.
Maybe you should say a word or two about Alpha Outpost, because I didn't mention that when I brought you up.
Sure. So Alpha Outpost is a box of the month club, I guess, if you will, for men. So every month we have a different scenario, and then we try to solve that scenario with a box through experts training and the right tools. So whether it's, one month we had a box called Frost, and the scenario was you're going through the woods, you fall through a sheet of ice trying to get some water or something like that, and it's 33 degrees outside, so you're going to be unconscious in 10 minutes and dead in 20. What do you do? Well, You don't know. So what we do is we put everything in the box that you need to do to know how to survive and all the right tools to get through. So every month we have a different scenario, and it's fun. The chances of that actually happening to you are slim. But when it happens, it's your life. So it reminds me of when I was going through landmine training, landmine warfare. How long does it take you to navigate through a minefield? The right answer is the rest of your life, because however long it takes is however long you want to live. So it's the right tools and the right scenario. So sometimes we do stuff that's serious, but it's intriguing to guys. It allows them to kind of have an adventurous escape. Hey, cool. And then we include a challenge in there. So for that month we did submerge yourself in an ice bath full of ice water, and then you have to take a deck of cards, shuffle it 3 times, and then put them in order. And you're like, well, who's going to do that? Well, we went and made a video of all of our key leaders doing that. So we sat in this kiddie pool water. It was snowing out too. And we all sat there, smoked cigars, and drinking out of a shared bottle of whiskey while we're sitting there for 10 minutes. And it was very cold, by the way. And then we had these cards, and then we had to shuffle them. And we did it live on Facebook. It was a lot of fun. So every month we have a different challenge. So sometimes we do stuff serious, and sometimes it's more fun. Like we did a barbecue and chill box. Here's the scenario for that was, it's Sunday morning. Your wife kicks you, and she's like, hey, wake up. Your in-laws are coming over in 2 hours, and by the way, you're going to cook some barbecue. What do you do? So we worked with one of the best barbecue chefs in Chicago. He helped us put together this whole package. We got meat shredder claws, his special spices, and some different shears, and a lot of cool stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool. So can you talk about the culture that you've instilled? Obviously, you talked about your military background, the values that you've gained in the military, and how you've kind of brought them to Grunt Style.
Absolutely. So when we hire people who are our customers already. So these guys already get it. They already understand what we're trying to do. And it's not what we're another e-commerce brand slugging some more product across the table. And like most the successful people here know, you have to actually believe in what you're doing. There's a greater mission than just making $1. Now, making $1 keeps you in business, like you said, because you have to do that. That's important. Otherwise, you're just dumb and you're going to be out of business, no matter how much passion you are, or passion you have. But you have to believe in your mission. So our job is to instill pride into themselves and into our country, or the values of our country, and that's important to us. So we hire people who are our customers. They believe it, and they get to spread that to whatever their departments as well.
That's a good segue into the next question, is sort of the value of a brand and the value that the Grunt Style brand has. And what's sort of the value prop that you're trying to communicate to your customers with your products?
Absolutely. So every product has to do one of two things if it can't do both. It has to instill pride. It has to have a superior pride, or it has to have superior function. When somebody wears our product, it means something to them. When they see the cross rifles on our logo, it's to them, they don't see, oh, there's some guns on a shirt. When someone looks at that, who's a customer or a fan of ours, they say, oh my gosh, those are the Springfield 1792 muskets that won the War of 1812, and this will defend was the motto of the American Revolution, and it says 1776, which was the year our country declared its independence. It means something to them, and it's because we build our whole company around that. Everything we do has to represent that. It's important for us.
We talked with Tom about customer service. I know that's a huge part. We were talking when we were having dinner about sort of the value that you've placed on treating your customers with the best experience every time they're going to engage with the brand. So you can talk about your customer service.
Absolutely. So about a year ago, our customer service sucked. It was horrible, really bad, and it started with I was out on I was on some meeting or whatever like that, and I wanted to talk to one of my officers. Normally, I just call him on a cell phone or annoy him on text or something like that. But I'm like, let me call through the company line just to see how it's doing. So we don't have much of an automated service, and because I just don't like that, I like talking to people. So so you call it's thank you for calling Grunt Style. If you know your party extension, you can dial it at any time. Otherwise, stand by for customer service, and then someone picks up. If someone can't pick up right away, it'll tell you your hold time. So the voice said my hold time was 70 minutes. I was like, no, I don't think so. Something's wrong. I hang up, I dial again, 71 minutes. And I was like, what? So now I'm just calling his cell phone. I'm like, I don't know what's going on over there. This needs to get fixed now. And then as soon as I walked in the door, because I beeline straight into the building. I'm like, like a tornado going drill sergeant mode. I'm like, all right, I need 5 men from marketing. Get on those phones right now. I need 4 people from shipping. Get over here. Get this fixed. Why is it backed up? And and just attack. And then we start analyzing, what's going on. And obviously, customer service, as most of you guys know, is symptoms of the company. So if customer service is suffering, it's because something else is suffering or many parts are suffering. So long story short, I challenged the team to have a goal. I'm like, you know what? If we're going to do something, if customer service is really important to us, let's be the best in e-commerce, period. And what does that mean? So I said, I'm going to call it 2020. So I want 20 seconds on average for a phone pickup time. Someone dials, in 20 seconds they're talking to a human being. That's the standard. And I want a 20-minute turnaround on every single email that comes into our building. That's the standard. If you guys can do that for 30 days, I will wear dress in 6-inch pumps to our next Beer 30 weekly meeting. We have a kegerator in our dining facility, and then we celebrate all our successes for the week there.
Yeah.
So I'll wear a dress and heels. I don't know why that was important. And I'll take you guys out on a nice big stretch limo and fit all you guys in there and take you out for steaks downtown. They're like, okay, challenge accepted. Well, I have some fantastic pictures of me with showing off my beautiful calves, and I could sport them. Yeah, they're nice. I know my jeans are covering them, but they're nice. So to this day, first quarter of this year, the average phone pickup time was 14 seconds, and the average email ticket turnaround, you email our customer service, their average turnaround time was 7 minutes. That's faster than your crazy ex-girlfriend sending you text messages. They're that fast. They're the best in e-commerce, period.
So it worked.
Absolutely. And it wasn't because of that challenge. You
Right.
know, honestly, what we really did, and it's how we structure our teams, is first you have to have the right leader. That's important. But once you have that, give them the appropriate goal. That's quantitative. Okay. Hey, you need to be here. Here are your assets to be successful, and then you need to get out of the way. If you cannot micromanage people to success. If you have the right leader in place, you can get out of the way.
Yeah. So selling through the e-commerce, through the Grunt Style website. Also, you sell your products wholesale, correct, as well?
That is correct. We're in a little over 200 stores right now.
So can you talk about kind of the thought process, the decision to not only sell direct through the website, but also wholesale, and kind of the opportunities you saw, and also maybe a challenge or two that you've encountered through selling wholesale? Sure.
So just about every store we've entered into in our market category, which is men's apparel mostly, predominantly, we have a lot of women's stuff as well, we're always the number one product. The problem is breaking into it because, most buyers don't understand what our brand is. Our fans do, and as soon as they recognize that we're there, they go crazy over it. So it's exciting. We the first 2 months we got into Cabela's, which is a big chain store around here. We were their number one product in our category, which was super exciting. And it's like that all the time. But it's getting the buyers to understand that, especially with big box stores, is difficult because we're still relatively new, and there's the good old way to do it. And it takes time. In e-commerce, I can have an idea to product to ship. Since we manufacture a lot of our own stuff, I can do that in hours. But when you're working with large chain stores, it could be 6, 12 months.
We talked about with Tom sort of the fulfillment angle too, and free shipping, and just consumer demands. They're constantly evolving, but they want their products faster. They don't want to pay for it. Can you talk about what you're doing at Grunt Style to meet those increasing demands of customers, particularly around fulfillment?
Absolutely. So our last speaker was correct. You cannot out Amazon unless you have $200 billion to back you up, and you're okay to take annual losses for 20 years. And everyone's okay with that. We can't do that. We're bootstrapped. I started the company for $1,200. I have no investment dollars into it, so we can't do that. So what we decided to do is, what end can we control? And what we control is, I can't tell you how fast it gets to your door, okay? And I can't out Amazon that. They take a loss on that fulfillment. Plus, they have the numbers to negotiate better rates than we do. But I can tell you how fast we ship it. So we started something last year, and it's about it's very, very successful. It's called GS24 or Grunt Style 24. And it'll tell you in your shopping cart if you get it, because it's not on every product, but it's on a little over half our products right now. And the goal is to get 90% of the products by the end of Q2. Is if we can't ship your order within 24 hours, we're going to give you a $25 gift card. So that's the part we can control. We decided to make an impact and a statement on what we can control. And off of the first, I don't have the most current numbers, but I remember this year on the first 70,000 orders that fell under that those items, we only had, I think it was like 12 trip.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's such a low rate. Our guys are that fast, and they're that particular about it.
And then I'll ask the same final question for me is, where's the focus on growth? What are the areas that you're targeting and looking at?
Absolutely. So marketing side, there's a lot of opportunities. We've put so much focus into social and digital marketing. We've expanded that into event marketing and more traditional marketing, which is just as fun and just as exciting for us. So that's new. But the other side is we noticed that our fans are buying, obviously the street apparel from us. So we figured, if they appreciate our beer guarantee, we guarantee all our products for life, and our brand and what it means and the quality that we put into our product, we could probably clothe all of our fans 7 days a week, and that's been our mission since January 1. And we've expanded it to outdoor sports, shooting sports, motorsports, fitness apparel, all these different arenas of clothing. So our job is now we're going from just regular street apparel to I'm going to clothe you 7 days a week from hat to boot.
Okay, great.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this episode, be sure to visit our podcast channel page for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play, but please remember to subscribe to our podcast channel page as well. Lastly, don't forget to connect with us on social on Twitter at MyTotalRetail and on Facebook at facebook.com/MyTotalRetail. Until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks. The new era of commerce begins now. With IBM Watson Commerce, use previously untapped data to create personalized and differentiating brand experiences that customers want. For more information, visit www.ibm.com/Watson/commerce.